I just kind of realized among things, I was like, is this money privilege? Like, I can't believe it. This is what people talk about, like being poor costs you money, and Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. After pretty privilege, I discovered money privilege. Let's get right into the video. Let's get it. Let's go. Woo. If you've been a long-time follower of my channel, you would know that I didn't have a very strong financial background growing up. I grew up on welfare, which my dad hates for me to say on camera, but it is what it is. Like, I totally know that hits a note with him, but like, honestly, it shaped me to who I am today. I feel like I can give really good money advice because I know what it's like to be on the other side of the coin. I am not a privileged individual giving terrible money tips because I'm just like so out of touch with reality. So I think that sometimes our curses can be blessings down the road. You just have to wait for the silver lining to appear. So I'm going to be talking about 3 things today. I'm going to be talking about when you have money, you get free stuff. Paying for membership gives you perks, and money opens doors. So getting free stuff. So I actually noticed this. The first time I ever noticed this concept was when I was on a Korea trip. So I went to Korea, and it was both Will and our best friend David. And we were all shopping. It was the end of the trip. I think the next day we were flying out. And so we were just like mass buying everything at Lotte World. And so we put everything together, and the bill was massive. We were just going to split the tab after, right? Like, who bought what, right? But because we had bought such a massive amount of things, they gave us nearly double of what we got free, just because we had spent a certain quotient. Before, that's never happened to me. I'd never had that kind of cash flow because I worked part-time while I was in China. But yeah, before that, I never had money to be able to make these type of intense purchases. I always, like a poor person, always bought what I needed, only a little bit. I never had the kind of money to just splurge in one massive purchase. Granted, this wasn't just my money. This was like Will, David, and I. So it was a combination. But on paper, it was a large purchase. And it revealed to me that I can't believe it, that like being rich gives you free stuff. And I just kind of realized among things, I was like, is this money privilege? Like, I can't believe it. This is what people talk about, like being poor costs you money, and it's cheaper to be rich. It completely shifted my money perspective, that there's a whole other world when you have purchasing power that I guess I had never really experienced when I was younger. And this is kind of similar to the Costco idea. Like, you pay for membership and then you get things at a discounted price. Like, there's so many things that I have bought from Costco that's cheaper. Like, all of my Champion clothes are so cheap at Costco. It's like $19, $20, versus when I buy from the retail, like, or from the shop, I have to pay like $60, $70. And I just was like, it's just so many things that have actually happened in my life since then. That Korea trip was like, I want to say 5 years ago. So since that time, I have seen more examples of that in my life, but I just kind of wanted to share that experience with anybody else who's been on the other side to this side, to seeing that there is this concept of money privilege. It's kind of insane. So the second thing that I noticed was that paying for a membership got you really big perks. And that is something that I didn't know was a thing. I always thought, in my frugality, in my minimalism journey, there's a big advocate to not buy memberships because you're losing money and blah, 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 blah. You guys, as minimalists, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So for me, it was really shocking because Will doesn't buy into that mantra. As I've mentioned in videos, Will is not a minimalist. Like, he is minimalistic and he doesn't own a lot, but he doesn't have the same thought with money the way that I do. So him and I, sometimes we are quite different, and sometimes I'm actually really glad that he isn't cheap or poor the way that I am. So anyway, to give you an example, so he bought the Costco membership. He had it actually even before we started living together, so he's already had it for a while.
In my mind, I was like, wow, he has a Costco membership. He's so bougie.
Just to kind of give you like a difference in like money mentality, like when you grow up with money versus when you don't grow up with money, there's just been so many perks that I have seen just from his like Costco membership that we wouldn't have otherwise. Like,
people always talk like, oh my god, Costco is like bulk buying, but like,
let me tell you, as somebody who was from lower income, I really do think that buying from Costco is a social status, and maybe that's just revealing of my own social status. But for me, I think shopping at Costco is extremely bougie because literally, think about it, you have to pay Costco for the privilege to shop at Costco. Anyway, coming back to the membership perks, yeah, like you can buy clothes so much more cheaper. The amount of food that you get for the same amount of price, like my Dorito bags are like this massive and they're cheaper than the tiny ones from Walmart. It just really shocked me at how much privilege you get when you have the capacity to pay a store for the ability to shop at a store. And recently Will got the Amex card, I think the American Express card, and there's just been so many privileges that have come with that. We recently booked our Hawaii trip. We bought 3 tickets, his, mine, and his mom's, and essentially because of the amount of money that we spent on like the combo, the hotel and like the flight together, we saved as if one person went free. And it's just ridiculous that I used to have this thought that memberships were not worth the money. I don't have that thought process anymore. I do think that memberships really do have really good perks. I mean, granted, at the same time, you should do your research. You have to know whether it is within, if it works for your lifestyle. Are you going to spend a certain amount? Because like you could pay for a Costco membership and never shop there, then obviously that is a waste of money. But I've just seen personally that I have a different perspective when it comes to these things. Okay, and number 3, money opens doors. This one is not a new concept. This is one that I've actually spoken about a lot on my channel, where like having money in the bank opens up so many doors, and it is just, it's so true, guys. Like, so I just kind of wanted to reiterate it again in this video, that like as I talked about pretty privilege, where you just have unfair advantages in life just because you're pretty, I have discovered that money privilege is definitely a thing. And I never want to come off as privileged saying this, but I feel like I have to say it. Knowledge is power. And my little Cobras, you guys know that on my channel, I use my channel to help others get ahead, because honestly, others have helped me get ahead, and I have to, you know, pay it forward. And so I want to share that with you guys. But as I've always mentioned before, one of the reasons that I push for, you know, being frugal or like being good with your money is because honestly, guys, having money opens doors. So I'm going to use a real life example for this. So since I've been, you know, working a lot more, money's been coming in, I've been saving a lot more. So just because of how much money I have in the bank gives you freebies. There's this Visa card. It's like the cash back. Back when I had less money as a student, there was no cash back for the student card. But now that I'm of a higher income bracket, now all of a sudden, for the same amount of money I spend, because I'm still spending the same amount of money, I have not had that lifestyle creep. I still spend as if I was a student. But because now I'm swiping it with a higher income Visa, I get 4% cash back. And it was like, I haven't changed my purchasing power. Nothing has changed. I mean, yes, my income has changed, but it's not like I'm paying that to the bank. It's just in the bank. But because I have more money, all of a sudden now the bank wants to give me back money for the same purchases that I make. Like, I'm still literally only buying my grocery bill, a couple clothes, and like, I don't know, whatever, like my phone bill and utilities. But like,
Oh no, you have money, so here's more money.
I don't know, guys. I think it's really interesting. So what I want to say with all of this is that I think it is really important for you, especially if you're like a young viewer, as most of my subscribers are. Although actually you guys have grown up since I last checked my analytics. You guys are now in your 20s or mid 20s, and you guys kind of realize now that money is important. When I used to make these money videos, like, I can understand you guys were really young, you guys were not interested in that, but I think you guys have realized that like money is a form of power. And I wanted to, I guess, empower you guys that getting your finances in order is going to open up doors for you. And I wanted to be an example of that, because you guys have seen my journey as a minimalist, broke medical school student to now a working adult. I just wanted to bring to the table and pass this information to someone who's coming behind me. You know, like, be good with your money, treat your money with respect, and it will pay dividend 100-fold. You would not believe what it's like when your money is in order. It's definitely going to pay dividends. So please try to get yourself out of debt if you can. Get your money in order. Try to put some, you know, money away. Get good with your finances. It's definitely going to open up doors. And if nothing else, you're going to sleep better at night knowing that like you have money in the bank and that you feel a sense of comfort, as opposed to when I was in debt with student loans. Those were the worst nights I had ever slept. So comment down below if you can agree with this, and if you don't, that's cool too. Leave it down below. I would love to read it. And thank you for coming along, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.